This woman is going to be crushed tonight. And if she tries to call Donald Trump out on anything, guess what, Kamala? He's going to have every answer for you, because when you tell the truth and you stand by what you say and you've never flip-flopped on anything, he's going to come back at you and you're not going to like it.
Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret Projo in the house, ready to rock and roll on a Tuesday morning. It is debate day, the day where Donald Trump destroys Kamala Harris and puts her back in her place. Despite what the media will tell you, we're going to talk about that and break it down, because the media has already told you that she won. I mean, the story's already been written. You know what's going to happen. We'll tell you about ABC and their bias. I still can't believe Trump is so good and so comfortable and so confident that he walks into the lion's den and just looks at the lions and says, sit down. That's what he does. That's the equivalent to this. We're going to remind you of how Tulsi Gabbard destroyed Kamala Harris. We're going to show you that bit. I know you've seen it and we've shown it on the show 2 or 3 times, but it really sets the stage for tonight's debate in regards to who Kamala is, what has happened to her, how she has been brought along. Donald Trump also said that they tried to get stools because she's like 5'1" or 5'2". I don't care how tall somebody is or isn't, but be who you are. Like Tim Walz is a gay man, but he parades around like he's married, and he might be legally married, but we know he's gay, and that's fine. And he can be gay. And all the reports are out there, but the media won't cover it. Just like Barack Obama is a gay man, but he won't talk about it. Just be who you are. Also, Melania Trump, because the media and hardcore evil liberal Democrats refused to talk about the full situation on how Donald Trump was supposed to not be alive and breathing at this point in time. Melania with an interesting video. Elon Musk also reminding people about what illegals are doing in this country. I just saw that come down. So we got a lot to get to. Love you guys when you join the podcast platform on all of our sites, of course, where we are on X, on Rumble, on YouTube, not live on YouTube, but the other places we are, and we are grateful for you guys jumping in. And of course, on the on the audio podcast platform, as soon as the show ends, Jeannie said, gay as hell, LOL, talking about Tim Walz and Barack Obama. But hey, that's fine. They're gay men, and that's fine. And I don't know.
It is fine.
I don't know what that makes Barack, because he's married to a trans, and Joan Rivers told us, and we already know that. We've seen the pictures. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know what that makes them either.
I don't know.
It's too much to try
Paul,
to keep up with.
we appreciate saying best show. Good morning to everybody. Yeah. Jamie, Chris, everybody. We just call it how it is. Facts over feelings. Facts over fiction. Republicans are about facts, Democrats are about fiction, and that's kind of how it goes. So we got a big show tonight coming up, obviously. Big, the debate show. ABC, Donald Trump, getting ready to rock and roll. I still know, I'm going to give you what I think is going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Donald Trump's going to be amazing, as he always is. Kamala Harris is going to barely scratch the surface on real policy, but the media is going to pump her up because they can't give Donald Trump just an iota, because you have to remember who is running the show. This is the cabal. This is the deep state that even Democrats talk about. They're not going to give Donald Trump anything. As Vivek told us 5-6 months ago, they will do anything and everything to keep Donald Trump away from the White House, because he stops all the plans that in this country. But Americans get so comfortable. Oh, nothing's ever going to happen to us. Not all of you wonderful people who listen, but too many Americans don't understand what is happening behind the scenes. Because if all you've ever known is prosperity and comfortableness and happy hours and sports and vacations and wonderful feelings and going to bed not worrying about somebody taking over the country, times have changed. Those have changed, and you're not going to understand. Oh, nobody's trying to do anything to us. That could no. That has happened. And unfortunately, they'll do anything and everything to keep Donald Trump away, and that includes the media. So with that being said, I think Donald Trump will be amazing. The media will not cover it. They'll talk about the low standard for Kamala Harris because they can't afford to say Donald Trump won the debate. At best, they can say maybe it was a draw, maybe, because they can't afford to let Donald Trump get any sort of positive feedback on anything. But there's no way somebody with half a brain can defeat somebody with a full brain and is super intelligent like Donald Trump.
Right. Well, and we have to remember that even the last debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, mainstream media was not even willing to say that Donald Trump cremated Joe Biden. They will not say
the worst ever, too.
All they would say is Joe had a bad night. Nothing about how extraordinary Donald Trump was. Nothing. They would not give him any kind of kudos. And they won't do it tonight either. However, Vic, I do think that CNN, I think that they're a little bit worried. I think that they know and realize how awful they looked after the last debate because all they did was continually hide the demise of Joe Biden. They continually talked about how awesome he was going to do at the debate. And I think that they really felt stupid. I think that immediately,
really?
I do. I think that immediately after the debate, you could see all the light switches going off in all of the news anchors' minds. And they were like, oh, wow. I mean, what happened? What happened to Joe Biden? How did we miss this? Oh my. And we all knew that, it's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. We all knew that the decline was, on full tilt of Joe Biden. But I think right now they're starting to kind of step back a little bit. They're kind of starting to say some things that might be like their safe space. It might be enough for them to tonight after the debate and tomorrow morning when America is looking at this absolute circus show given by Kamala Harris. I think that they want to be able to say, well, we did say that she wasn't really talking about policy too much. We did ask her several times what her stance was on A, B, and C. We did say that the polling was showing a little bit higher for Donald Trump. So I think that what they're trying to do is make sure that they don't look like complete idiots like they did last time.
I don't know. I just know Donald Trump's going to be amazing. I know Kamala's going to lie. And here's the problem. I don't know which Kamala's going to show up because we know that she's the chameleon and that she started to change policy around to sound more like Donald Trump, to not sound more like what she is. The most liberal senator from 2019 that the country had ever seen. That's who she is. However, she will say whatever she needs to say to reach the most amount of people. That's why you have to be careful. The other part of this is the fact that she's going to lie. And Donald Trump has to do what he did very well with Joe Biden. Joe Biden would lie. And then what Donald Trump would do with his next question is he would have to take care of the lie first and then maybe get to the question. Some Democrats didn't like. They thought he was avoiding the question. No, you have to take care. These are the rules that are put in place. If somebody's lying about the last question or something that you said, Donald Trump's trying to call it out. So you have to call out the lie before you can get to the next question. And that's what he did on a few of the debate questions the last time. And then I know that some people are like, well, he's not answering the question. No, you got to take care of the lie first before you can get to the next question. He's really good at this. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame because the standard is set so high for him, but that's who he is. But my humble opinion is still this. I don't feel like there's enough people out there who are undecided that are really going to change an election if it's fair and there's not all of these illegal ballots that are in the mix.
Yeah.
Come on. With media in 2024, with a candidate like Donald Trump, and then what happened with Joe Biden leading into Kamala, really? Are there that many people? Is there that large of a percentage to change an election around that are undecided? No. And guess what? The independents, when you look at the Rasmussen polling, when you look at Silver, who's a Democrat polling, when you look at the US Gov polling, when it comes to independents, guess who's leading with the independent voting? It's Donald Trump. It's not Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
There is no conceivable way she can win this election unless it was cheating. There's no way. The Electoral College, anybody with half a brain on politics, and that they look at the actual breakdowns and not just listening to national media, oh my God, he's losing now, understands there's no conceivable way for her to win. And tonight with the debate, as much as I'm excited to watch it, there's nothing she can do that's going to overthrow Trump. It's impossible.
No, she can't. And he will be a fact-checking fool tonight. He will be on it. He will be ready. He is going to come back at her with everything that she does not want him to say. When you lie, you have to really take time to figure out what you're going to say. So when he calls her out on all of the lies, all of the flip-flopping, all of the horrible policies that she had as a senator, an AG, a DA, she's not going to be able to climb her way out of it. There's absolutely no way, because everything that she did was horrible. Nothing was good. Not one single thing that she likes to tout about is good. Not one. One being reparations. She goes around and she talks about how there should be reparations. She talks about how ICE is basically the same thing as the KKK. This woman is going to be crushed tonight. And if she tries to call Donald Trump out on anything, guess what, Kamala? He's going to have every answer for you, because when you tell the truth and you stand by what you say and you've never flip-flopped on anything, he's going to come back at you and you're not going to like it.
I don't think that the average American is going to be able to see that he crushed it. What I do feel is people who know politics, know policy, actually understand the meat and potatoes of what's going on in this country. Like most of our viewers, listeners, you, Megan, Projo, myself, I think you'd be like, yeah, clearly he talked about this. But I do feel, because one thing I've learned about Kamala is she is very good at being that chameleon. She is very good at changing personalities. She is very good at maneuvering from this spot to that spot. And she will not be lost, because the last time we saw Trump debate somebody was Biden, who was completely lost, even though Democrats told us, oh, he's going to be great. He's the guy for us. And then when they got rid of him, they're like, oh, yeah, we got somebody new, because we hate Trump. So she has stopped her cackling. She has stopped talking. She has stopped doing everything, and then allowed the media to run this battle, to play the game. So she's smart enough to know when to keep her mouth shut. And that's her best asset, is that she realizes how dumb she is. She realizes that she slept her way into certain situations. I think Montel taught that back there when she was one of his 3 harem that he used to travel with. Yeah, by the way, she was one of the girlfriends. She was one of the crew. But she didn't mind being one of many for Montel, as long as she was being taken care of. She's gotten good at that. So she knows how to play the game. She knows how to keep her mouth shut. And clearly Obama and the rest of the staff that has been teaching her how to speak has shown her, listen, if you shut your dumbass mouth, if you just go out and smile and let us stage and do everything, we can try to get you in here. We can cheat in an election and we can get you through the finish line. But you have to shut up and you say less. And I do believe, because she does have a working brain, some would question how good it is, that she's going to say what she needs to say, shut up. And the thing that really is interesting, her team is already, and the media has already put this out there, that she's working to be really good at not responding to insults that Donald Trump is going to throw at her, and the way that he's going to try to cast her. So what they're doing and what they have done is that Donald Trump will not be, quote, allowed to even question her, as Megan has talked about in the past, because she's a black woman. And if he questions her, oh, he's so mean and racist and insults, where she can lie right through her teeth and smile. And then all she has to do is lie and lie and lie. And then if she gets called out, she can just smile and just go on with her lie. And it will be perpetuated as strength, because that's what media does. I was in it. Nobody knows local media, national media as much as I do, or better. I'm in it. I have shown it. I have seen it and witnessed it. That's what they will try to put on Americans tonight.
And mark my words, tonight and tomorrow, you will hear Donald Trump be called every name in the book. Just like you said, Vic, he'll be called a racist, a misogynist, a sexist. Every word that the left has tried to redefine over the last 4 years is going to be thrown at Donald Trump. But don't be fooled. And I think that tonight, I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. I think it's going to be like child's play. It's going to be so elementary for those folks that don't follow politics. I think that Donald Trump is going to be brilliant. I think that it's not going to take someone that, is a political person to understand that Kamala Harris has simply tried to push policy that is not good for our country. It is not about putting America first. I think that Donald Trump very easy and very quickly can call her out on these things in a way that a fifth grader could understand. Because she has been so blatant in what she is saying is right for this country that has proven to be horrible for this country. The border, for instance, all he has to do is say, Kamala, this is what has happened under your border policy. You are still the vice president.
You're making it sound too easy. You're right, but she's gonna.
I really do.
She's gonna have a comeback because that's what they do. The Democrats are masters at liars, and they're masters at illusion with voters. They are. Well, she's going to have a comeback.
But here's the thing. Here, the only thing that she's going to be able to come to the table with, and it's the one thing that the Democrats have used this entire campaign, whether it was for Joe Biden or when they put, Kamala in last minute, is abortion. And what they do, the mainstream media and the Democrats, is try to say that Donald Trump is revoking all abortion rights, trying to make it sound like he has come in, like he has enough power. Are you saying that he has that kind of power that he can go and just wipe out abortion completely? That is not what he's saying. And again, in a very easy, elementary way, what he is saying is very simple. Kamala, you're lying. The mainstream media has been lying. I am giving abortion back to the states.
I don't think they're going to
Period.
I don't think they're going to tee him up for that.
Oh, really?
I don't.
Oh, I don't know. I think that she's going to bring it up. I think that he's going to be able to
come
back.
She would not be that stupid. Well, she knows that he would then it gives him an opportunity. Maybe,
they are stupid,
in
though,
my
Vic.
humble opinion, they're stupid smart.
Oh, I don't know.
They're
I
crafty.
really don't
I've
think so.
had some people in my life who were very crafty.
Were they Democrats?
No.
Okay.
No, they're just crafty.
Enough said.
They're crafty.
And another thing that she and her party keeps trying to put on to Donald Trump is this whole Project 2025. Enough already. Give it a rest.
No way.
Put it in the grave. I don't know.
No way.
It's going to be interesting to see
how
if she brings that up.
There. I don't know.
Well, you know what would be brilliant is if he comes forward and he says, hey, you and your party is trying to say that I am responsible for this Project 2025. I hope that he says for the entire world to hear tonight, enough. You have lied. I have nothing to do with Project 2025. I think that that's extremely important. Many people don't even know what Project 2025 is, but the Democrats have tried to make it sound like it's this big evil thing that Donald Trump is spearheading, and he has nothing to do with it. So I think that there's going to be some ways for those non-political people tonight to really maybe think twice. If they were thinking about Kamala Harris, I don't know. Like I'm holding out hope for those people that might be undecided.
But they're they would be stupid to bring up Project 2025, which has nothing to do with Donald Trump, and give Donald Trump a chance.
But that's their big talking point.
No,
that's what
they
every
don't have
rally.
Talking points.
Every rally they go, they try to convince these poor innocent people that actually show up for these goofball rallies, and they try to fill them up.
There's not a lot of people who are showing up.
Yeah, but the few that do, they're
they have
already got
be there. We've already seen and shown you the evidence of that.
Yeah, but I mean, to give them more nonsense is just funny to me. Truly,
we like to talk speculation, which is what we're doing tonight. Here's a fact, though. I don't like the fact that Donald Trump is doing this on ABC. I know that the CNN debate, the moderators were fair, the questioning was fair, but that's because we know that they were trying to get rid of Joe Biden. That was not an accident. People, I'm telling you right now, Joe Biden looking like total disaster on stage was not by accident. It was set up. It was on purpose. And we have broke down the facts for you over and over and over again. And it all started with Vivek when he told us what was going to happen, and he was spot on. It was set up. Joe Biden was never going to be the presidential nominee. Whether it was Kamala or not, I don't know. But Kamala was at the right place at the right time because she was put in the ticket despite being one of the worst candidates for president that we have ever seen from the Democratic Party, who then became the worst vice president in the history of this country, a position which she still holds. So when you think about those things that have happened, there's no way that I think ABC is going to be fair tonight. I don't. David Muir. Hi, I'm David Muir. And Lindsay, who's that?
Price?
Lindsay. What's that?
What was it? Price? Is that who you're talking about?
Lindsay Davis. Lindsay Davis is the other moderator. ABC is this is the network of George Stephanopoulos. And we all know what that little jackass did. And I mean, he's being sued for things that he has said on his little Sunday morning show because he doesn't understand an iota of what journalistic integrity is, because he was never a journalist. He was never trained that way. He was trained in politics, and then he became a journalist. The problem that you have right now with ABC, in my humble opinion, is they can't afford for Donald Trump to have a positive moment. CNN, everybody knew they were going to be horrible, and then they weren't, because there was a reason. They had the same mission: destroy Joe Biden, get him out of here. ABC does not. This is, as my old coach used to say, it's nut cutting time. And that means it's time to take care of business. And taking care of business is not helping Donald Trump. I feel as if it will not be fair. I hope that I'm right. Or I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be fair. ABC, by the way, Media Research Center does outstanding breakdowns of news coverage. They put it into their algorithm. They put in all the stories that have been run. And people, listen up right now. 100%, I repeat, 100% of the media coverage that Kamala Harris has received since she became the nominee for the Democratic presidential nomination has been positive. 100% of the stories positive. Have I said 100%? 100% positive. ABC stories about Donald Trump, 7% positive. 93% negative for Donald Trump, 100% positive for Kamala Harris. For our slow people out there, and sometimes I'm slower for those who are waking up or just joining us, let me repeat this. ABC News, who is hosting the debate tonight, has given 100% positive coverage to Kamala Harris, 93% negative to Donald Trump. Do you understand why I have an issue with the debate tonight when it comes to how they're going to treat this, and if it's really fair, and if the questions haven't been given in advance to Kamala or her team, or if there's some sort of surprise for Donald Trump, or if the moderators, David and Lindsay, are going to have a little bias? Can you understand why I think that that's probably going to happen?
Well,
in the history of media, unless you're in communist China, old communist Russia, Venezuela, would you have 100% positive coverage for one candidate and 93% over another? This is one of the most telling, crazy stats I have ever, I repeat, ever seen when it comes to media coverage of political candidates.
But let's not forget, Vic, that they did, maybe not ABC, but most of mainstream media, including CNN, before the last debate, could not give enough accolades to Joe Biden, how amazing he was. Remember, he is so alert. He is so with it. His critical thinking is on point. I mean, it could not have been any worse, yet right up until the second that he stepped or tripped onto the stage, they were trying to say how awesome he was and how great he was going to be at the debate. And guess what? It caught fire. Everything burned down right in front of their eyes. So I don't think, Vic, I think that ABC is going to do a better job than we expect them to do, and they should, because we have been sitting. What evidence do you have that makes you think? Is it just a feeling? It is, and
I can see that. The only reason I say what I say is because we all thought CNN was going to be horrible.
Exactly.
And then they were fair, but they wanted Biden out.
Yeah. I think
this time they need Kamala to come across well.
Well, I mean, they have to. I mean, they have no other choice. But that's part of the problem, is they know how silly the Democrat Party has looked over the last several months. They know how incompetent they look. And they also, mainstream media is very aware that they were part of the sham. They were part of the entire dramatization that is unfolded right before our eyes. They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well, that he was still our commander in chief.
Including, I'm sorry to interrupt you, including Kamala Harris.
Exactly. And Kamala Harris is so great. But, Kamala Harris, nobody ever was,
No, she was the one. No, Kamala was saying Joe's doing great.
Oh, of course she did.
Even up to the day that he got busted.
That's right. And Dana Bash in her 17-minute interview when she was holding Tim Awal's hand, that the only time that she has spoken to, broadly to the American people in a pre-recorded session, even Dana Bash asked her, do you regret saying any of the things that you said about Joe Biden? Do you regret telling the American people that Joe Biden is doing great, that he is still able and capable of running again for presidency? And she said, no, I do not. I stand by every single thing that I have said. So they're not going to come out and admit how stupid and ignorant and irresponsible they have been, the mainstream media I'm talking about, along with the Democrat Party. They're not going to do that. But I think that maybe behind the scenes, they realize that there is half of America, that's the Republicans, the conservative, that do have brains. And we are able to see right through these people. And they know that we are watching them, and we're not going to let another Joe Biden shenanigan happen again. We're just not going to. And I don't think that there's anything that Kamala Harris is going to be able to say tonight that is going to make Donald Trump look bad. The only thing that's going to make Donald Trump look bad is if Donald Trump doesn't answer the questions in the way that he needs to.
What do you mean in the way that he needs to?
I think that that's going to be vital because, again, like we were saying a few minutes ago, they are going to try to use everything that comes out of his mouth against him. They're going to try to turn everything.
What do you mean? Who's they?
The mainstream media, the left,
you mean after?
Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Yeah. And just basically make him, sound, oh, well, he said this, but he really meant this. What, he doesn't like to be on stage with a woman? I mean, it's going to turn into,
oh my God,
all this crazy stuff.
From the chat line, from the podcast platform. And of course, we encourage people if they want to jump in on Facebook, on Rumble. We're on a variety, we're on all X. Donna says, we've got DirecTV, and DirecTV has a feud going on right now when it comes to certain networks. They can't get ABC right now.
Oh, wow.
They would have to go watch the debate somewhere else.
God, that's not good. Come on.
Get it on YouTube, I'm sure.
They need to get their stuff together.
Also,
it's a big night.
Yeah, it is a big night. We're looking forward to it. This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Projo, producing. Want to remind everybody, we're here Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays right now, 9 to 10. We may come back and do a debate recap tomorrow. We'll let you know if we do that. We'll see. I've asked about that. There were good people on both sides, Glenn. Anyway, the other thing about that we wanted to show you, the last time we really saw Kamala, I mean, really saw her do it on stage was when Tulsi Gabbard ended what should have been her career, but because she was Marxist and communist, she was brought onto the ticket. Keep in mind, she finished in last place of all the Democratic presidential nominees in 2020. Dead last, when she was pulling like 2%. People, when I tell you she's one of the worst politicians in the history of this country, it's not because I don't like her. It's because of fact. We talk about facts here. Democrats deal with feelings. We talk about facts. The fact is she's terrible, and the numbers showed it, and she finished in dead last. And we thought it would be interesting, Megan thought it would be interesting too, to remind you and show you how Tulsi Gabbard put her in her place, and she sat there like the fool she is, using race and race baiting to try to get into an election. And this woman absolutely destroyed by Tulsi Gabbard. And by the way, Tulsi, a hardcore Democrat at the time, after absolutely destroying Kamala Harris right here, then was put on the terror watch list in America by Joe Biden. And of course, as we wonder and think, Barack Obama, she was put on a terrorist watch list because she was too damn good of a politician.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Our Democratic Party, unfortunately, is not the party that is of, by, and for the people.
We can probably get out now. But it gives you an idea of how bad and how stupid. I'm sorry, I hate that word, but stupid applies to Kamala. She's not educated. She just isn't. Or she is educated, but she does so many bad things that when she gets called out, there's no response for this, so I'm going to act stupid.
Yep. And did you notice, Vic, that she did not answer one single question that Tulsi asked her? She did not talk about the black and brown people that she's, claims to be helping all the time.
Because she doesn't know anything about black and brown people because she's an Indian and she has never, ever, ever faced anything that African Americans have faced when it's become a negative issue.
Yep. And she didn't reply on anything
she
about
very nice.
The marijuana violation. She didn't talk about the gentleman that spent years on death row and how he had to beg and plead. And she was actually forced to take another look at this gentleman's case. And he was innocent. He was proven innocent. And she did not want to let this guy off of death row. Why? We don't know. But you can hear this guy in different interviews talk about how he didn't even want to go in because he knew that she would be there, looked over, and she was over in the corner laughing, looking at him, laughing. You can hear him talk about that. And all she wanted to do, did you hear her? What she said is she wanted to talk about her power and her reform. Her reform. She said that she has that they're using her, what she did, as a national model for reform. Okay, remember, she comes from California. No one is using her national model. No one is using her Proposition 47, in which she lied about to try to get people to vote. She named it something different. She tricked the California people so that they would vote for this, trying to make it sound like she was wanting reform.
One day she's this.
She's awful.
One day she's this. One day she's that. One day she's black. One day she's brown. One day she's Indian. One day she wants to tax tips in California. The next day she doesn't. One day she doesn't want a wall. The next day she does. She flips like a pancake. Very easy, because that's what she is. She'll do what she needs to do. She's not a person or a woman of conviction. She's not a woman of character or integrity. She is a woman of being bought and paid for and doing what she needs to do to make that next career jump. And I won't get into the things that she has done to make those career jumps. Hey, that's for everybody else. Gary says she's chameleon.
Yes, she sure is. Communist.
Even communist.
Communist chameleon is exactly what she is.
She is comrade commie.
Hey, and another thing, like you were just saying, she'll do and say anything. Let's not forget, people, please. And I hope Donald Trump brings it up tonight. Remember what she said about her boss, her amazing commander-in-chief, the man that has pushed more legislation and done more wonderful things in the last 4 years than any other American president in the history of our country.
Oh, who's
Mr.
that?
Joe Biden. Do not forget, everyone, that she called him not just a racist, but a horrible racist. And then her being as ignorant as she is, she just simply turned around and said, when questioned about that, well, gosh, so now you're going to run with Joe Biden. You really made it sound like he was an awful person. You said that he was a horrible, horrible racist. Why would you want to team up with this man if he's a horrible racist? And she goes, you do what you got to do in a debate.
Yep.
You say what you need to do. So I hope that he reminds the American people.
Sometimes you have to get on your knees. Sometimes you don't. It's one of those things.
And this woman, it is clear that she is willing to do anything that she needs to do to be in that position of power. She doesn't want to explain what she's going to do to help our country or what she has done to help our country. She is only going to use her power and her leadership. And how entitled does she sound?
Well, it's Kamala Harris, and CNN, some of their anchors even call that how progressive she is and what she has done and who she has been. And it's like, wait a second. Yesterday, we showed you Bernie Sanders calling her out. Now CNN calling her out. We'll play a little bit of this just so you get an idea again of what's actually happening and who she was. And she doesn't just change. You can't change those stripes. You know the saying. You just can't. This is Kamala Harris.
Issue through treatment and other programming, will you support the decriminalization at the federal level of all drug possession for personal use? And Harris answers yes. Now, what would that mean? Well, it mean the federal, all drug possession. That's not just marijuana, which she alluded to in her answer to this question, but it also would mean
it's federal level of all drug possession,
fentanyl, crack, cocaine, things like that. Yeah.
Have they responded to you on her changes on these issues?
So we did put this question to the Harris campaign about the entire ACLU questionnaire, and the Harris campaign didn't answer any questions from CNN. Issue through treatment and other.
Yeah.
They didn't answer any questions. This is what you get. This is what frustrates me. It's like, my God. And this woman is running for president. And there's actually some people who want to vote for her because of the DJT or the color of their skin or whatever.
Why can't CNN just get on the right side? Just join our team. We know you want to. We sense it. We feel it. Just come on over.
Yeah, just call. I'm
do
just
the
glad.
Right thing.
I'm just call facts. Just report facts. There's too much in media, even those at Fox, that don't talk facts because they're bought and paid for. And that's exactly the problem when it comes to money, just like lobbyists. You may know what's right and wrong, but because somebody has more money and they can pay to make sure that this policy gets voted on or this policy gets voted through, doesn't mean it's right.
No, that's for sure. So I do. I think it's going to be awesome tonight. I cannot wait to see her just stumble around and try to find some kind of word that
I don't know if she's going to stumble. I really don't.
Oh, I
don't think so. I think she's going to be more of a slick liar, an Obama type, than she'll be a bumbling idiot fool like Joe Biden.
I think that I don't think that she's going to be able to not serve a salad tonight. I think that Donald Trump is going to be able to come back and call her out on so many different things.
Yes,
that she is just going to.
I think she'll have a slick return, but they won't really have the back and forth.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
That's why I'm saying it's going to be set up for her to be fine, and then that's what the media is going to quote. Oh, she was amazing. It'll be interesting. We know what we're going to get from Donald Trump. It'll be interesting to see how Fox portrays it as well.
But you know what? I hope that Trump and Tulsi have gotten together, and I hope that she's, given Donald Trump what she sees as being some great tips on going after Kamala Harris. And I hope that
oh my gosh,
he uses.
It made me think of something.
Okay, so I loved her tactic. So in the clip that we just showed, she came out and she's like, I'd like to revisit. And then she came back and she pointed out all of the things that Kamala Harris, has stood for. So I hope that he has that opportunity, that same opportunity, so that when they do cut the mics, that he can come back and he can say, you know what? I'd like to revisit this. Or, you know what?
That's right. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's what he's going to do. That's going to be that'll be his philosophy tonight.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I think that'll be really, really beneficial for him.
One other thing from the standpoint of where Donald Trump is, he's been fairly quiet in the week or 2 weeks leading into the debate. So we'll get a chance to see if he's as good as he was before. He refused to allow Kamala Harris to stand on a box. He's like, you be who you are. They were begging for her to stand on the box because she's like 5'1", 5'1", 5'2", something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And just be who you are.
Yeah. Stop
lying. We know that Democrats are the party of liars, and just stop. We're going to stop it and just be as honest as you possibly can on everything that you are. The other thing is there's been so much media and attention. We forget about Donald Trump there was an assassination attempt on his life not too long ago. It was not that long ago. Mm-hmm. And Melania Trump has a new video out, about 30 seconds here, asking about that day and things that have happened. I find it interesting that they put it out. We wanted to show you, and it just came out this morning, and now it's starting to make its way around.
The attempt to end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy. I can't help but wonder, why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech? There is definitely more to this story, and we need to uncover the truth.
Well said, Melania.
Yeah. Once again, good. Democrats want to forget about it. Mm-hmm. They don't want you to remember that he should not be alive right now. Yeah. They want to forget about it. They covered it up, everything else.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know about it because they know there was an attempt. And we've already shown you certain politicians talking about certain things. Even Joe Biden saying some things before it happened. And they're like, why did you say that? Of course, let's get him out of here as fast as we possibly can. We know that was an inside job. And we know that the, quote, shooter was talking with a few people who they cannot get clearance to. And we also know that Dan Bongino said somebody that is untouchable is the person who he was dealing with, the shooter, that is. So we're not going to forget about it, because if it was a Democrat, they would not allow the Republicans to forget about it. It was not a lone wolf deal who just happened to get by the world's best Secret Service and FBI. It did not happen by chance. It was not an accident. And I'm grateful that they're trying to at least bring that attention back up to where it is, to remember what is being done to Donald Trump. And keep in mind, we showed you the sound yesterday with Vivek. If by chance the debate for some reason does not go very well for Kamala Harris tonight, he said, look for unprecedented actions to be taken against Donald Trump to try to ruin him that way, just like they were trying to do to before the election was really getting into its heavy time.
Yeah. They will not stop going after this man. They will do anything and everything. They will make up stories. They will make up, false crimes against him. They will do anything. They will not stop. And I think that it's really easy to forget about the assassination attempt, really due to the fact that he has not been a big crybaby about it. The man was shot in the ear and stood up on his own, did not want to be taken off on a stretcher. He wanted to get his shoes back on, and he wanted to stand in front of the American people and let everyone know that he's a fighter and that we need to be fighters.
You know, I know some complete dumbasses who are Democrats who are saying it's still fake.
Of course they do.
They're like, oh, his ear, nothing's wrong with his ear. Look at Mike Tyson. His ear was bit and he still has a piece missing. And you're telling me that Donald Trump's ear was shot off, yet it still looks fine today? Yeah. No, there are different ways of getting shot and different ways of things happening and hitting your ear. That's not the point. The point is he turned his head at the exact right time to save his life. And it's already been proven by the FBI that it was a legitimate assassination attempt.
Yes.
And the only thing that saved his life was a grace of God move of the head.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Democrats are trying to say, or many of them will try to hold to that story and say that it was fake or it was something else that hit him. But also, these are the same people that also believe when Joe Biden says that he has a golf handicap of 6. So what we have to do is we have to remember who we're dealing with. And, we just have to, really appreciate the fact that we have someone who wants to be back in office again, that is a true leader, that isn't going to let an assassination attempt take him down. He's not going to go around and cry baby about it and talk about it every second. I mean, if that would have happened to anyone that was a Democrat, they would probably still be, I don't know,
in the
hospital.
Would.
They'd be at Camp David, trying to recover from, being shot in the air. Who knows how the story would have gone, but it is definitely easy to remember. And I'm grateful for that, because that was a very, very scary moment for our country. And it could have been a whole lot worse. And I really appreciate and respect the fact that Donald Trump did not allow it to take America down. The people that want to see him lead our country and make America great again. So Donald Trump, thank you for being strong and showing us what it's like to be, a true fighter. They come at you left and right. They're trying to take you down and you just keep getting right back up. And, every time I see him, especially lately, whether it's a rally or one of the, 37, 38, probably getting close to 40 interviews that he's done now, I look at him and I think, good grief, that guy has got to be exhausted. I mean, he has not stopped. He literally went from the trial, when he should have been out campaigning day after day after day and couldn't even talk about it. He had the gag order. He had this, he had that. Every time the guy turns around, he's getting slammed with something and he just keeps going. He shows up every day in a suit and tie, looking good. I mean, and just wanting to do what's best for our country. And he always says, like, I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish I could be at home with that beautiful woman that we just saw, with my beautiful wife, with my family, with my kids, enjoying, golf or the beach, or like Joe Biden always does. We know that he's always at the beach. We know he's not golfing, but we know he's at the beach. But he doesn't want to do this, but he sees what is happening to our country.
Something else was released yesterday that I found was very, very interesting. Before I want to play this. We'll get it. Maybe we'll play the Tyreek video. We'll try. It's an interesting thing that when we talk about police and police stops, but when it comes to information, RFK Jr. yesterday tweeted out and then said it in an interview that Donald Trump has asked him to join him when he becomes president because he wants to clean up and drain the swamp that he didn't do the first time. The rest of it, he called out a lot of it. Some he was able to drain, but said he needs to do it. And it's another reason why the deep state, the swamp, does not want him and will do everything they possibly can, because the word is out. Trump is coming back. The enforcer is coming back to enforce. The equalizer is coming back to equalize. As somebody on our chat line said, time to get the untouchables. Here they come. Donald Trump made it public, and RFK Jr. said, I can't wait to help him drain the swamp. Most Americans who don't follow or teach themselves or educate themselves think that everything's fine. Oh, there's no swamp. Wake up, people. Even the Democrats like Bill Maher, who can't stand Trump, say, yes, there is a deep state. It does exist. Deep state being those who are trying to push their agendas on this country from out of country and within, and doing whatever it takes because they really don't have the best interest of Democrats or Republicans or independents or Americans at heart. They have their interest at heart. And it all gets back to a world order as well. Found it very interesting to hear RFK Jr. said that Trump has already told him he needs his help in draining that freaking swamp.
Yep.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret, Projo in the house as well. Okay, I wanted to play this. I know it's a little bit of a twist and a turn, but Tyreek Hill is an all-pro receiver for the Miami Dolphins. He was pulled over before the game on Sunday, arrested because this man was driving dangerously. He did not have a license. He's driving on a suspended license as well. And now there are all these people from his camp calling out and saying that Miami police were wrong in what they did after the fact. I did want to remind one other thing that is going on when you think about who this is and what this country is and where we are. I credit Elon Musk with sending this out. I think it was late last night. He said 153 illegal alien sex offenders have been arrested this past year just in Baltimore alone. Actual offenses committed for far exceed the arrest, by the way. And that was coming from ICE's Baltimore office. That came out yesterday. And I know it's a subject that's near and dear to your heart, but the sex trafficking victims and survivors that you work with, Megan. Mm-hmm. But thank God that Elon Musk, who has a platform, was bringing that out. That just shows you in one city what is happening. And guess what? That gets back to the border. And the border gets back to Kamala Harris, who was the border czar, who we have shown you through news publications and media publications where that's exactly who she was.
Yeah.
153 illegal alien sex offenders arrested, Megan, just in Baltimore in the last year.
Yes.
That is terrible. That is what America is becoming with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Their open border with at least 20 illegals coming in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's happening everywhere. Just right here in a town that's right next to us, there were 2 illegal, obviously Latin looking men. I don't know where they were from, so I don't want to speculate. But definitely to me looks like they were in some sort of gang just due to their tattoos that they had all over their bodies. Tried to go up and talk to 2 young girls in a car. This is within the last 24 hours. So went up and then the mom came and intervened, and she came up with some explicit words and said basically, get away from my children. She was able to get pictures of these guys. But this is what I was trying to talk about yesterday. This is not just happening in Colorado or these sanctuary cities. This is happening and spreading everywhere. Now, we might not have like these huge encampments of Haitians like they do in Ohio, in your neighborhood, but we don't, just one person with ill intent is all we need to have a reason to say enough. Enough is enough. And I hope that Donald Trump uses that tonight. I hope that he says to Kamala Harris, please explain why you think it's okay to have allowed all of these people into our country. Please explain why you have allowed all of these children to go missing or all of these different people to be sex trafficked, human trafficked. It is on her and Joe Biden's watch. It is. There's nothing she can do or say to get out of it. The numbers show, the statistics show. And like you said, just like I live, eat, and breathe all of this stuff, I do the same for trafficking, and it's happening, and it's happening far too often. We have our own problems here in America. We have our own missing American children. We have our own domestic abuse cases here in America. We don't need to allow 20 million more people in and have it be twice as bad. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to the children. It's not fair to anyone. So I hope, Donald Trump to really, really press her tonight on that. Just that issue alone could take up 90 minutes. If I was Donald Trump, I would just keep going back to it. If she doesn't answer, if she doesn't give some kind of half sensible reason for all this, I would just keep coming back, because this is something that, like you said earlier, Vic, there's going to be a lot of people that don't follow politics, but there's going to be a lot of people that follow compassion and empathy and just being, humankind. And if those people can just see what this woman has done and what she has allowed on her watch, I mean, if that's not something that'll change your mind, I don't know what is. So did you tee that up? Okay.
Yeah, we just want to show this Tyreek video, and then we'll break it down. What should you do in traffic stops? What shouldn't you do? And then who's to blame if things get escalated? I'm sorry, I always blame the driver. If you don't comply, and if you, as they say, fuck around and find out, that's on you. Now, can police be better? Sure, they can be in situations sometimes. But until you're a cop, until you walk up to a window, and until you face somebody with a smart ass entitled mouth, you have no business to say anything. And you know damn well I'm talking to you right now. If you're going to be a little jackass and act like you're bigger and better than a cop because you were just speeding, driving erratically without a license, shame on you. Shame on you, because you don't know what it's like to be like a cop until you're a cop and you walk up and you get shot at, or until somebody's disrespectful to you and you're not getting paid the money you should be anyway. Let's check out the video.
Knock on my window like that, man.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Don't knock on my window.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Knock on my window like that, no.
Like what?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here.
He just got,
you can lower it and
he just got pulled over.
So I can go. I'm finna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do.
Why did you knock on my window? Now he's pulling up his window. You can't see through that window. And he put his window up on the cop.
Hey, keep your window down.
Don't tell me what.
Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
He asked him to get out of this car.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. What part of blood is doing this car? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, dude. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting up. Twin.
When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting up.
You understand? Not when you want, but when we tell you.
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just had surgery in your ears when we told you to put your window down.
Bro, chill.
Just had surgery on his knee.
Okay.
But going to the game. He's on his way to the game.
Okay. There's a couple things there. One, from what I saw, number one, the police walked up and he had his window up, his tinted window, car still running. And you're a cop. So he knocked on his window and then he undid it just a little bit. Tyreek did. Don't knock on my window. Don't knock on my window. Why are you knocking on my window? Don't knock on my window. From the start, Tyreek incited this entire deal. He was acting like an entitled, special, spoiled athlete. And he has a history, by the way, as well, a bad history. And I'll break that down for you too. Tyreek did that. Number one, if you get pulled over, you turn your car off. Your tinted window goes down if it's tinted, and you have your hands on the driver's light or the driver's wheel. You don't start with police like that. All the police need to do is show you all the instances of people they know, men and women, who are dead because of people who were acting like you were, Tyreek. That doesn't mean you had a gun and you were going to do something, but how do they know? And this comes after they say he was driving erratically and driving with a suspended driver's license on top of it. Am I the only person that sees a entitlement, nasty ass attitude that he was giving police? Now, do I think police, when he got out of the car, should have thrown him on the ground? No, I don't. Yeah. I don't. But fuck around, find out.
Well,
police don't have time to be messing around. And of course, the entitlement community inside is saying these police should be arrested now.
Yeah. So I used this video to show. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just saw it on X, but apparently the Dolphins are actually supporting him on.
Well, they have to,
of course, and it's
they pay him millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
Hello, I mean that's not surprising at all. I mean, knowing them, they're going to want to start kneeling again or doing something stupid. But I use this video to show my kids what not to do when you are pulled over by the police. You don't do this. You don't say, "What are you knocking on my window for?" Don't knock on my window. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't tell me what to do. He said it inside of his car. I mean, he was asked to roll his window down. Now, a normal guy that is just simply in a hurry, that is caught speeding, Like if you wanted to expedite what was happening, you just went and did everything backwards. So roll your flipping window down, have a normal conversation like a human being.
Yes.
Get your speeding ticket, show your license. Oh, sorry, yours is suspended. Oopsie, your insurance. Do what you're supposed to do so that you can get on your way. You don't do everything that you're not supposed to do. And Tyreek, you are an intelligent man. You are a smart man, just like you said last night in your interview. You wanted everyone to know that you are a husband and you are a father and you are smart. And yes, and so smart people also realize that we have authority figures in our lives, especially here in America. That's just part of the deal. We have teachers, we have police officers, we have referees, with which you know very well. So if you're in a game, Tyreek, and a referee who is your authority during that time, and they call, holding or unnecessary roughness or false start, do you go up and you go, don't tell me what to do? And you don't go back on the line? Do you go up and you go, oh, hell no, it wasn't holding? Do you do that? No, you don't. Why? Because it's cause and effect, and you're going to have to pay the consequences. That's what happens when you are dealing with authority.
He was wrong.
Yes.
And he knew he was wrong.
Yeah.
He was flying. He was breaking the law. He got pulled over. That's it. If the dumbass isn't entitled, thinking he's better than all of us, none of this happens.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what happens with driving on a suspended license and he's trying to go to work. I don't know. I guess that would be the police.
Get you a ride then.
Get a ride. That would be the police. That would be the police discretion. But clearly, he thinks he's better than everybody else. Clearly, he thinks he's above the law. And nobody would keep their tinted window up with their car on, thinking that they should get special treatment unless they think they're better than everybody else. Tyreek, you were the problem.
Well, and the scary part is if you watch the video, you can see a little bit through the tinted windows where he goes to put his seatbelt on. Now, the cop could have missed, since it's tinted windows, he could have thought that he was pulling out a gun and shot him.
Yeah. Well,
so he's lucky he didn't get shot.
Yeah. And he knows, and they love to talk about how, these people are racially profiled, and
he wasn't racially profiled,
and things like this. And we're going to hear
he was a jackass who needs his ass beat. You beat his ass down, give him a good beating, give him a good beat down, and give him an attitude adjustment. That's what that punk needed, because he acted like a punk.
Yeah,
he did. Flat out punk. And guess what? Tyreek has a history. Oh, really, Vic? Yeah, Tyreek has a history. I already said, do I think the police should have thrown him on the ground or had a knee in his back? No, I don't.
Yeah.
But let's not let that get confused with what Tyreek did to escalate that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And I am tired of mother truckers thinking they're above the law, thinking that they're going to put police in a bad situation when we already know that far too many men and women have died because they don't know what they're walking up on. Right. They don't know that they're walking up on an athlete that isn't interested in hurting them, is just trying to get to the game. They don't know. So until you're a cop, shame on you if you ever think that what Tyreek did was okay. And let me remind you of what Tyreek was accused of in the past. Tyreek was also allegedly punched his pregnant girlfriend in the stomach and choked her, broke the arm of his 3-year-old son, and has 10 plus kids with 6 baby mamas. But we're surprised that he's going to act like that sitting in a car.
Right.
Okay. We're just talking about the facts.
Yes.
All right.
And
don't be Tyreek. Yeah. As Megan said, it's a great video. It's simple. You get pulled over, you comply. All right. You comply. And if you don't trust it, you ask a cop to turn on their video monitor.
Yeah.
Ask him to turn it on. This is simple shit.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of the entitlement community trying to act as if Tyreek was so wrong because he was driving on a suspended license, driving dangerously, and he kept up his tinted window with the car on. Yeah. I mean, give me a freaking break. There's no defense. And I'm glad I'm looking at our chat line. I don't see any defense. Yeah. Any defense. Well,
in newsflash for everyone, respect goes both ways. If you want to be respected, you show respect. It could have been, that whole entire thing could have been so easily avoided. And it's not because you're black or white or brown or a professional athlete, not professional athlete. It's not because you drive a Lambo or you drive a Kia. It has nothing to do with that. It's just about abiding by the law and being respectful. I mean, these officers, especially in Miami, that you cannot imagine what these guys see and what they go through. And like you said,
I was told he was driving 50 miles over.
Oh, I'm not surprised. He was in a hurry. Like he told the cop, yo, I gotta go. Do what you gotta do.
He's a
Here's
punk.
the state of Missouri.
He's a punk.
If you're doing 50 over, that's immediately you're arrested. You don't have a choice. You're going to jail no matter what.
It's
That's
50,
true,
huh?
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
50.
that's true.
Well, I think it's over 20.
I
But
don't know.
now his dumbass agent Drew Rosenhaus is looking for media saying that all those police officers should be fired.
Yeah. Well, the one that got physical and was like, look, he was
Maybe.
done. He was done playing with him.
Yeah.
He was done begging him to do what was right and to do the adult thing. He is on leave. So, they took him and they're going to, figure out what needs to happen. But to me, there was nothing, is super, super abusive about this entire situation. The dude is an NFL player. If he's going to whine about an officer taking him and grabbing him and putting him down on the ground, well, then you might want to rethink your career, buddy boy.
125 and a 70.
Oh, is that what it was?
I'm only laughing because it's just it. Now, he went out and he had a great game. He played terrific, but that doesn't change the fact that he was the person who escalated the entire situation. And while there might have been some police who went over, don't, like I said, fuck around, find out.
Yeah.
Don't mess with police. Just don't. Their job is bad. I mean, until you walk a day in the life of a cop that's dealing with that kind of crap, no.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, I don't know. I'm waiting to see if we could still do a show tomorrow.
Hey, here's a question. I think it was Greg that asked us. He wanted to know just a little bit ago, if we could ask a question at tonight's debate, what would it be? If we could ask Trump a question. And gosh, I don't know if I could really narrow it down. Do you guys?
Trump or Harris? I thought he said Harris.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I find Vic, you're way wrong on this. We finally got somebody. Logan from the chat line. Have at it, guys. Put Logan in his place.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm way wrong on this. Gee, I don't know how in the hell somebody could watch that video and say that I was wrong for calling him an entitled punk. And he said these types of cops need to be fired immediately. Interesting. Very, very interesting because Logan is clearly on drugs. Logan, something's wrong with Logan. Because there ain't anybody alive that would think acting that way to cops and thinking that you're going to be treated wonderfully is wrong or is the way to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, what were they supposed to do? Stand there like a bunch
of, go ahead.
Yeah,
we'll just sit back here and hope you don't shoot us.
Yeah, all your windows are completely tinted out, and you've done nothing that we've asked so far. But we're gonna sit here and wait. No,
right at the end of the end of our show. Damn.
Some people think that cops need like sensitivity training,
correct,
de-escalation training.
They do.
Yeah,
and some of them
agree.
might.
Yeah. I think they do.
And guess what? There's some NFL players that need to just taught common sense training.
Yeah.
And how to respect authority figures.
They do. But once again, when you get pulled over after doing 50 miles per hour over, you comply. You don't have your tinted window up telling a cop what to do. Don't knock on my window with your car on. Logan, you're a dumbass, dude. Dude, you're a dumbass if you think that's allowed. Oh my God. There's no way in hell. I just wish that you would have gotten a little quicker than you'd have told us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me. I don't even want to hear that.
I said the police were wrong for throwing him down. I said they shouldn't have thrown him down. Shouldn't have put a knee in his back. They shouldn't have. But they're forgetting the fact that this punk dumbass who needs his ass kicked, who needs an attitude adjustment, who thinks he's better than all of us because he gets special treatment, special privilege, didn't comply. They're trying to forget about that. There's always somebody who starts shit. That's who you should go to.
Yeah.
He started all the shit and was disrespectful to our men and women who are fighting their butts every day, not knowing if they're coming home. Tyreek's living his life of luxury because he's fast. Tyreek is the person who did that. Logan, you're way wrong on this, dude. You may not be wrong on how police should be treated after the fact, but Tyreek is the person who put police in bad situation from the get-go.
And here's the thing too, even I don't care if they had a radar gun or not. I don't care if they pulled him over because they thought that his brake light was out. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they knew who he was or didn't know who he was. None of that matters. What matters is the interaction that took place when he was pulled over. He is not above the law. If he wasn't doing anything, then he wasn't doing anything.
Logan says
but
these
you don't
cops
do that.
He said he just trained 7 SWAT officers who said the same thing that he's saying. Logan, I talked to 2 police officers, not SWAT guys, people who are out on the street every day, who said, you know what? It's unfortunate it got to that level. They both said almost identical things, but Tyreek obviously thought he was going to handle the situation. And when you get pulled over, you don't handle the situation. Police do. So I put your comment to rest right there, Logan. Sorry. I got 2 cops right there who said the same thing. Same thing as I'm saying. Yeah. That the situation, and one said the situation doesn't happen if he complies, but he thinks he's above the law. So he's going to put police in a bad situation after driving 125 in a 70 on a suspended license. So I don't know what SWAT officers you're training, but those SWAT guys, I never want them on our street. That's for sure. Those SWAT guys need to be checked themselves.
Well, again, it doesn't matter if the cops were corrupt.
If what Logan's saying is true. Because I don't know if what Logan's saying is true.
Well, right. And if they were corrupt cops and they didn't have a radar, all of those things, the point of the matter is we can all see with our eyes the interaction when he was pulled over. If anyone thinks that what he did was the right thing to do, like I said, I showed my kids that video last night. I said, this is what not to do. I don't care what you're getting pulled over for.
125.
Do not do this.
And he's going to tell police.
I mean,
you do your thing.
Yeah.
There's no argument. I mean, we shouldn't even debate this. We've wasted time. I mean, he's 100% wrong for what he did. And if Logan can't admit that Tyreek is 100% wrong for what he did, then we shouldn't even be having a conversation, because it's like trying to teach calculus to a kindergartner. You're not going to get very far. Sorry, Logan. Not trying to be disrespectful, but we can agree to disagree when it comes to how you should act in a traffic stop. But if you say that's how you would act and you think you should get special preferential treatment, then go do it. Good luck, because I promise you're going to run into a cop that's going to put you in your place. Yeah. That's unfortunate. I would never do that. And I just have more respect for police. You may not, Logan, you may not respect police. I do. And I would never treat a cop like that ever, because they are faced with far too many challenges. And I know far too many families who've lost loved ones in traffic stops.
Indeed.
because they didn't know what they were dealing with. Yes. So anyway, that's what it is. So
anyway,
all right.
Okay. So did you guys have a question that you guys would ask tonight, or no?
No,
at the debate. Too many.
Who's the deep state, and are you going to get rid of the deep state? Are you going to drain the swamp? What did RFK mean that you wanted to drain the deep swamp?
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. I would just, I don't even know what I would want to ask Kamala Harris. I think I already said it. Why are you okay with these hundreds of thousands of children going missing and having not even any kind of like a task force or anything to go and try to find these children that you invited here, promising them safe shelter, free education. Now it turns out free healthcare, cars, you can vote, free housing, food, on and on and on. But I think that's what I would do. That's what I would ask.
How often do you plan to vacation?
Yeah. No, considering no, that's funny.
Anyway, I hope everyone has a great time tonight. I cannot wait to hear what everyone says.
We may do a show tomorrow night. If we do, we'll send out a link. You can check in. Who knows? We're waiting to find out if it's allowed. All right. We're late. We're grateful. Thank you for supporting us. Grateful for Pro Joe and for Megan Marie Moret. I'm Vic Faust. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Talk to you later.